Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of the United States here in the modern day mod. So if I sound a little different to you guys, I apologize. It's because I am dealing with some more allergy problems. So if you hear sniffling or anything like that going on, I'm very, very sorry. Just because of the fact that I am dealing with that as of right now, and I still need to record for you guys. So I will be, of course, continuing on. So for us, what we're going to do is we're kind of just going to build ourselves up and lay low. Like, we're going to choose our first target of war, but we're going to lay low and we're going to see, number one, what Russia does, number two, what China does. We have to watch the people that we are probably going to end up going to war with, and we also need to watch the Middle East because we are boosting democracy through there, of course, in Syria. First democratic nation that we have changed. Of course, Iran, I believe, is another one that we are boosting in, of course. Are we? No, we are not. So what are we getting? 15? We'll wait for that because I think we're boosting in Saudi Arabia, aren't we? Yes, we are. We're trying to push conservatism there to see what we can do. So we're going to be dealing a lot with the Middle East, and we're going to be dealing a lot with watching our enemies. But for right now, we're just going to try to build ourselves up because we need to get our military back into strength. We need to make sure that they're very much built up. So we don't technically need to train anymore, but I am still doing that as of right now. So let's work on our next bit of military equipment, which I really do need to look at that research page of the military equipment and study it because I have not seen it much and I need to look at it. So of course we also need to watch out for North Korea. We need to make sure that they're not going to do anything silly. Of course, like South Korea, they attack there, they're doomed because we are definitely going to go against them. But other than that, we're basically just watching over our allies to see what they are doing. And of course, we're going to be putting troops in different areas. So I want to send over another force. Not a big one, of course, but a decent sized one. We'll send them out of... Let's do that. We'll send about 3 units out. We'll make a new army, and that will be kind of the Polish front with the Russian little spot over here, just because of the fact that it is Russia right by Poland. I don't firmly trust Russia, so I don't want to throw something out there that's going to be very bad for us. So we're going to put a few troops over there as well. Of course, the Poles are already doing that, but we want to make sure that we back them. And we're going to show that, of course, we are here as well. Do not worry. Pretty little head. Are we sending 4? We are. Okay. We're sending 4 troops over there. Of course, it's, about 5 troops long. But we're going to have 4 troops there. Don't worry. So, should we send 5? Should we send 5 groups instead of 4? Screw it. Yeah, might as well. So we'll drive those guys down as well. And then once they're there, we'll ship them over to France and get them moving. That'll be our next deployment spot, just to make sure that Russia knows that America's in the area. We don't firmly, of course, our 2 leaders like each other, but we don't firmly agree with each other's ideals. So we gotta make sure they're still doing good. Also, this may put me in the red, but we're gonna boost in China. We're going to try to get a coup started because a lot of you guys want to see the Republic of China come back, and we're going to try to do that via democracy. We're going to try to boost in there and get democracy back. So we are losing 10. So I think we're boosting in Iraq. No, we are boosting in Pakistan. No, Afghanistan. No, Saudi Arabia. Are we boosting in Egypt? We're boosting in Saudi Arabia, I know. We're boosting in Jordan. Let's cancel producing in Jordan. I think China's going to be way easier for us. So we could still make some political power. Slowly but surely, but we could still make some. So let's get the next military build up. Because we need apparently anti-air, mechanized, and motorized left. Which of course is fine. So we're going to send these 5 over to France. And they are going to get ready for their deployment over here. And then of course the next area of deployment will be in South Korea. But we cannot get into their country as of right now. They won't allow us to do that. So we're going to improve relations with them, see if we can get military access there. So we're going to be losing 0.5 for right now, but that's fine. As long as we can get them a little bit happier with us, we'll be good to go. But where else do we want to do things? Now, of course, a lot of you have been saying, build the wall, which is funny. The only way that I could possibly think about building the wall is putting land forts around this area up to like 10, and that would kind of be seen as the wall. If you guys want me to do that, of course, let me know. But if you do not, oh well. I probably won't do it if we don't get a lot of support to do that. But that's probably the only way I could really think about building a wall of any sort. China is going to be doing something anti-guaranteed. I thought Tibet was its own country. Apparently not. China apparently had taken them and kept them. Did not know that. I thought they were their own country. Weird. Vietnam, I believe, is still communist right now. We're going to want to do something about that. And of course, trying to get Indonesia to join the pact of NATO will be, hopefully, very much helpful. So, we're pushing our troops over. That's basically the only thing that's going on for us right now, besides building our infantry up. We're training a lot of men in the reserves. Of course, all of these men in the reserves are going to be used to basically defend the area and then go on deployments is going to be the big thing. So that is what we're going to be doing with that. Those troops are about to get into France. Very, very good, because we do need them, of course, to put their troops along that area. I know that the Polish are doing such things, but we want to show the Polish and the rest of NATO that we are going to defend them. Of course, with Donald Trump, it's a very, very different thing. So we're going to make a new army out of Coburn. And this is going to be Polish Task Force. Very good. And then these men, under this general, will hold a line just around the Russian border. The whole thing, not just the Poles, because of course we have Lithuania here that does not even have an army. Like they do, they have 2 divisions, but that's it. If Russia decides to do anything in that area, we're gonna need to make sure that Lithuania is defended. Because my goodness, do they not have anybody. So we're gonna be moving them, of course, through there. They're gonna train around and basically defend. What we're gonna do is we're actually, I don't know why I clicked on an air base. Whoops. We're going to edit his line. There it is, edit mode. We're going to drag it just to the Lithuanian border, because the Poles got their border. We need to make sure that we defend the Lithuanians over everything else. So we'll hold there and make sure they don't do anything stupid. So I know it's called the European Task Force, which I'll change to the Ukrainian. But we're going to hold off against there. So that's our other deployment that's going on. Of course, I do want to deploy in South Korea, so we'll figure out what we can do with that. Besides that, we're just basically building ourselves up, getting all of these civilian factories built up, because we're going to need them. We're definitely going to need the civilian factories. We're going to need a lot of military factories, of course, as well, which we're building on the East Coast, which may not be the smartest thing. It's probably would be better if we built it up north, so that way any sort of spot that could get invaded from isn't, because Canada's not going to invade me. They're part of NATO already. And then what else are we building? We're building our infrastructure up basically in the center of the nation, which is good because we're going to need that as well. That's basically what we're going to do right now. Of course, I think our first target that won't put us a lot of repercussions is going to be Cuba. Because they're communists, they're not a part of NATO or the CSTO. So we can invade them and not really get a lot of repercussions, which would be very, very good for us. Hopefully, we gotta hope that Ukraine does not get pushed into the CSTO. We gotta make sure that they stay semi-democratic. Even if they're a social democrat, they're not reactionary, which would make them want to join, of course, Vladimir Putin and Russia. We do not want that to happen because we want to defend the Ukrainians. Now, I do enjoy, and I'm so thankful for the love and support on this series. I think that nobody else at the moment is doing a United States modern day mod playthrough, so thank you very much for the support that you guys are giving me. I'm loving the fact that you guys are enjoying the series and, of course, want to see more of it. And don't worry, these are going to be pushing out regularly like the Cold War, because I really like making this series, and I can see that you guys really enjoy it, so of course we're going to continue doing it. But we're not going to be fighting anybody as of just yet. I'm still trying to figure out. I think Cuba's going to be our first one, and then I'm trying to figure out, because Cuba is going to be easy to take out. I need to find out the next nation that's semi-not good. I mean, Vietnam we could do. They're not a part of the CSTO, and China would probably help them. Could invade Vietnam and start a new Vietnam War. Possibly. Possibly not. Who knows? We'll have to see. There's a lot of communist nations around here. Like Laos is also a communist nation. We could take them out. Thailand is, of course, democratic, as long as the rest of them. And then, that would actually, if we took out these two countries, it would give us a little bit more of an edge in the Chinese sector. If they were thinking about doing anything, they have to watch out, because we're going to be on their back now. So that would actually be a very good strategic area. And we could not call it like an invasion. We could call it a liberation. So integrated designated marksmen have now been made. It's very good. So we can get modern equipment, which of course we're going to want to do. And then we can go through here to get the rails to get all sorts of different sites and things. My gosh. So cool. So we're going to want to get the modern equipment first off, and then we'll start working on the rails to get different scopes on our weapons, which will be very, very good for us. But this mod is so in-depth, and I'm really enjoying playing it, and I'm really enjoying playing Cold War as well. So I'm happy that you guys are enjoying both of the series, and you guys want to see them both continue. I do really, really appreciate how much support you guys are giving me for these. It's so great, and I'm so thankful that you guys are giving this much support and do want to see a lot more videos to come. So thank you very much for what you do. So the next thing we need is anti-air, technically, or we could do mechanized or motorized. Let's do mechanized first. We'll do motorized, actually. Just put one into motorized. We'll be able to build that, or at least start up building that. So then we're going to need mechanized and anti-air, which we can do. But that'll actually open up more of a recruitment of different things, like our actual modern infantry, which we could do. Now, there's a 38th Infantry Division with 3 others. So we have a lot of infantry divisions, but we're going to want to make sure that we continue that. What are these guys? Reserves. 3 of them. So we're going to get a lot of troops ready. Actually, I think maybe our first target would be Vietnam and Laos, because I'm probably butchering this name. I apologize. But going after Vietnam and this other country would be very good, because then we have a back door into China. Just in case they like to start anything, we can invade them through the south and fight through, or up, hopefully, and defend ourselves, of course, but also destroy China in the same way. And of course, you guys want to see the coup happen, and you want to see the conservative movement build up, or at least the democratic movement build up, and we can, once they get to a good, decent majority, we'll start a coup there and see if we can get the war started. And of course, we will join that and other such means. But we also need to work on our navy. We need to build our navy up, which I'm doing a lot of. And they're basically going to auto spaces, which is fine for right now. But I do need to designate where they're all going to. And I think for right now, they're all going here, it looks like. Does look like they're all going there. Which, this guy does not have a commander. Let's make a new commander. Matthew Walker will be our naval commander for that. Because they're all under one guy. They're all in one fleet. Might as well have a commander for that fleet. So what else is going on in the world? France building up their military hugely. My gosh, do they have an army. Now, I want to see different plans. I want to know what's going on. So they have done a little bit of holding. Germany is defending its southern border. as well as the Czechs and Hungarians are also doing that as well, but France is bordering up against Switzerland. They haven't done anything against Spain, surprisingly enough. Of course, the Polish are just kind of trying to just protect themselves. We, of course, are here as well. What else is going on? Has the UK done anything? I don't believe so. And then, of course, France has a border here that they have a lot of men on. I wonder if they're actually going to do anything with that. No offensive plans have been set yet for any nation, so at least as far as NATO is concerned. Sweden is trying to protect itself against Norway, which is a part of NATO. I don't believe that Norway would get invaded by Sweden anytime soon, so we don't have to worry about that. But that is the plans that are going on at the moment for the other nations. France being one of the biggest armies for NATO, which is very good. Of course, I think we are the largest, so we don't have to worry about that. But France being one of the biggest ones for NATO is very good. They'll be a very strong ally, hopefully, for us. But for right now, we're just trying to research things to build them up and get ready. So we can get the M1A2, or we can work on our air, which would probably be very good. No, I think we need to work a little bit more on computing, because we need to work on those two before we start anything else. Donald Trump, 2018, 2 years in, just building himself up, which is very, very good. So the next thing that we need here is what? What do we need? Anti-air and mechanized. So we'll get mechanized started up as well. I'm trying to get all these factories started up so that way that'll go away and I know we have everything, and then I'll build them up with more factories as I see fit to do so, which is going to be very, very good. But I think that's going to end the episode for right now. Sorry that it's a little short. I am under the weather, so I don't want to record for too long, because I know that my voice is not the best and that I sniffle a lot, and that's going to be quite annoying for the recording. So I'm not going to be probably recording much else today. I'm probably just going to lay down, try to get this allergy thing to go away. But hopefully you guys still enjoyed the episode anyway, and hopefully you guys are still looking forward to the glory that the US is going to bring, of course, with the possible invasion of Vietnam to open up a front over in China, and an invasion of Cuba to try to knock out the communism there and make maybe a few new states. Who knows? Maybe they'll fall under us at some point. But besides that, of course, like the video if you enjoyed it and you want to see more of it. I know that you guys are enjoying this series very much, and I thank you so much for it, and I love making it for you. So, of course, don't worry. This series is not going anywhere. And then, of course, comment down below anything you want to. I just love responding to comments and watching them, and reading them. It's very, very fun. And then, of course, if you have not already, be sure to subscribe, because we're going to be doing a lot of fun stuff. Of course, I have a few series open if you want to go look at all of those. And that's basically all I got. So, Glenn Games signing off as always. And Donald Trump, 2 years into his presidency, just building up his military, he signs off as well, and hopes that you guys have a great rest of your week, and we'll see you in the next episode. Until then, everyone, take care.